Good morning, everyone. So I made a couple of videos behind the computer, 2 of them to be exact. So I hope that you guys have something, that you learn something from them. We'll see. We'll read the comments and see if it's something that you'd like me to do more than once. So what I've done now is I have made the PVA glue and I've thinned it a little bit with water and I've added Vallejo fluids. So I'll give you the colors. The colors I have is, of course, my favorite color, teal, 426. Then I have this one, which is 404. Then I put these 2 together, the 409 and the 428, to give just that little bit more. See how beautiful this green is compared to that one? So this one is just a little bit more brighter and looks a little cuter. Then I have a light blue, which is the same dark blue as this one with a little bit of titanium in it. But everything is mixed with the PVAc glue. And why I'm doing this is because I've had a couple of comments on YouTube about people wanting to pour, but they don't want the, see how easy it is to get those little air bubbles out? People want to pour, but they don't want cells. They want those tight lines. So I'm going to just experiment with this. I'm not sure if this is going to work, so you'll have to just watch and see what happens, just like I do. Now I'm going to put the paint in a little cup, but I'm going to layer it this time with a lot of layers, not putting it all in at once in the cup, because we want these nice long stripes. So I'm hoping that this will sort of keep separated. As you can see, I'm pouring it in right now. Oh, and the door just opened all by itself. Gotta make sure we don't get all the noises from outside. There we go. Now back to the turquoise. And this might look like it's taking really long, but sometimes you have to, if you want to keep stripes, you can't really pour from up high, because then it'll start mixing. So what I'm doing is I'm sort of layering it on top to get as much of these flowing motions on the canvas as I can. And I'm hoping it's gonna keep everything separated. I'm not sure. And more green. And again the turquoise. Very carefully lay it on top, because you really don't want it to pour through. Okay, I think we have enough for this little canvas. Now, I'm not sure if you can see the side, but you can see all the layers. So here we go. Now that's a lot of lines, see that? And I think that's what a lot of people were talking about. So I'm just going to spread it out a little, see that? So I'm pretty happy that this does work. Just want to spread that over a little bit, over the side and over the corner. But there are little air bubbles, and those little air bubbles, they will pop, and then they will show you what's underneath the color, which is usually another color. I do need another, I need more paint, because if I'm going to let it come down, it will disrupt all those lines that I already have. So I'm going to put in a little bit more. And that I didn't really have enough paint is more about the thickness of this paint, because it's thicker than I normally use, because it's the PVAc glue. So that's why I didn't really calculate it through. But you can already see some dots appearing in the pour. Okay, let's do the other one. But this is pretty much what people have been asking about. Now I am going to let it come down because I don't have any more paint. It's going to go over the side. There it is. So if that's what you're looking for, I say your best bet would be to use the PVAc glue. I am going to torch it because I want the holes out of it. But I don't really think that is very distracting, you know, having a couple of those things pop. That's okay. I'm not going to keep this canvas though, guys. But as you can see, this can be avoided if you mix your paint like a day before. And then you have to have, if you're in Europe, where I sell my, I sell this stuff in my shop. I don't sell these white cups because you can buy them everywhere really cheap. But I do sell these lids, and they fit exactly on top of one of these really cheap plastic cups, as you can see, and you can even push them down and they're totally sealed. So when you do make your colors, put on a lid so that it doesn't form a skin, and then all the air will be gone the next day, and then you can pour your painting. But as you can see, it keeps those stripes pretty well. The only thing that's disrupting them is the little popping of the air bubbles, but that's something that, well, you can't really avoid that. Now, I would also like to, because someone said, oh, you can just pick the cells up on photo paper, and I will show you why that does not happen. But before I do that, I'm going to add a little bit of silicone into the colors I have. The blue is almost empty, but we can put one drop in. And then I have to stir it up a little. Maybe one more drop. There's enough paint in here. There we go. Okay, turquoise. And when you're working with this kind of a mix, then it starts to get a little bit sticky. So you don't want to have anything laying around. You want to do it on paper so you can throw that away, because it is glue, as we know. So that's something that you have to think about. Then the dark blue, what's left of it. turquoise. And the light blue. Okay. Now I am going to stir it just a little bit because I'm going to be pouring it on photo paper. Just to see if it has also has selling qualities, and it does. I can already see the cells pop up. Look at that. See that? That's really pretty. And then when we torch it, most of the silicone is already on the top. I'm gonna do a quick swipe to show you. Let's see, swipe. And there comes some cells. So it also sells, but not as well as with the Vallejo pouring medium, the extra thick. But it does sell up, as you can see. And then I want to see if it holds a drip. Maybe better to do that. Yeah, that's not something you want to do with this mix. Because normally you get a drip and it should stay totally fluid, but this one it does sink through depending on your pigment, and it doesn't stay really tight and round, so you don't want to do that. So one more. It sort of sells up all by itself. And really torching doesn't really do much to it, so maybe this is something if you don't want to use a torch, you might want to consider using the PVAc glue, because the cells sort of form all by themselves. But as you can see, it's a nice tight, the colors do mix a little because I've been using this for a couple of pours. But as you can see, it still keeps a tight line. So as you can see on this one here, let me get in really close. Just don't look at the little spots, because you can avoid those by mixing that paint a couple of days up front. But as you can see, the colors are pretty much separated, so that will work. Okay, now someone said you can pick it up just from the table. I'll show you why that doesn't work. So I'm getting all the paint here. I'm gonna get a nice smooth where I can push my paper in. Let me see. Okay, we have some tiny cells that are forming. Now, if I were to push my photo paper in there, and here again is the name of my photo paper, Kodak Extra Life paper. Yes. Now, if I were to push it in here, you are not going to be picking it up because those cells don't go through and through. So when I pick it up, this is what you got. And of course, you can use this for cards or whatever. Not totally ugly. But if you've made a couple of these 2 or 3 times, then you're pretty much done with this, because there's not much to it. Well, of course it's pretty for if you're doing scrapbooking or something like that, you could cut this out. That would be kind of cute. But other than that, you know, it doesn't have much of a use. So, and you can do that again if you really want to. You can just plop it in and pull it up and see the patterns that it gives you, and that's it. We'll keep this one though. But even torching it, nothing's gonna happen. Not on this one. With Winsor & Newton, if you do this technique, you will get cells if you put silicone in the paint. Then you'll get nice little cells and that'll look really cute. But that's about it. Okay, I am going to keep this one though. Now a lot of people have been really like my mixed media piece with the resin on top. And I'm telling you that from deep down in my little heart, I am really digging that type of painting. So why do I like it? Because it doesn't have to have me in my studio to make it, because I can take it with me inside, and you know the hubby is in the living room, and I don't want to be in my studio the whole day, especially when I work, because I get home, then the hubby makes the dinner, and then it would be sort of, you know, I can't do that. Just go in the studio and leave him inside. And he's been home all alone all day, so I sort of think that's not nice. But if I'm doing the alcohol backgrounds and stuff, I can do that inside. So that's sort of why I'm thinking, oh, I think I might explore that some more. And the finish, when you put resin on top, the finish is awesome. You know, it is beautiful. It's shiny. It's almost like plexiglass, and it just adds something to that panel that makes it come to life. Even when the metallics are not covered with a resin, it doesn't shine as much as when you have covered it in resin. Show you one more time. As you can see here now, this really comes to life. And before I put resin on top, there wasn't much that was really shining. Here you can see those scratches I did on top, and underneath here too there are some scratches with the foil. So that all comes to life when you put that that resin layer on top. And of course it's like glass. That is, some people find that really appealing. And even, you know, what I did with the markers really comes to life too. So I'm going to be exploring this a little bit more. And I have 10 of these panels. Yes. I also bought some huge ones. This isn't the huge one, but this is, I'll show you, where's the sticker? Oh, here it is. That's what you want to look for. Peacock wood art. This is a 20 by 40, and they are really sturdy little panels and really flat, because you have to, it has to be flat, because if it is just slightly bulging, your resin will just run off the top. And this is totally straight, flat, really craftsmanship that put them together. Here the little see where it goes in the corner. That is something that you don't always see, because usually they do the I don't know how you call it, but this is the best thing to buy. So if you're looking for these panels, this is what you want to look for. Whoops. Peacock wood art. So Google and you will find the place where they sell them. Okay guys, I think I'm done with this one. I'm gonna clean my mess up. I still have a lot of paint left over from last weekend. From this weekend, I was going to make a bigger pour with those feather things, so I'm going to clean this up, put a 30 by 30 canvas together with the little push pins, and I'll be right back. So love you all to pieces. See you in the next video. Liebe euch alle.